Hey students, so here is your quick look at what to do with a Req summary assignment. Had to look down and see which video I was on. In a summary, you are wanting to tell in your own words what the author wrote. Typically, I tell students that summaries are not about you, they're about the author. So no, I read or I thought this or I was reading in this chapter and this is what happened. None of those I statements in a summary, because it's not about you. It is about what the author wrote. A summary should be detailed enough for the reader to get the key points out of your summary without having to read the original article, essay, or chapter. It should not be every single tiny little detail that the author wrote. Okay, not the tiny minuscule stuff. It should be just the gist of it. And I tell students a lot of times to think about, if I had two students sitting in a classroom and student A was going to miss, student B attended, and student A says, hey, student B, what'd I miss? And they quickly go over, okay, well, we talked about this in class, and the instructor mentioned this, and oh, we have an assignment due. Okay, that's a quick summary of what happened. The highlights. They did not go through everything, like, oh, well, we were sitting in class, and the instructor started talking about this, and then a bird flew by, landed in the window, they started mowing the yard, somebody accidentally walked in the doorway and said, oh, sorry, didn't mean to disturb your class. Not all the details like that, because some of that stuff isn't as important. But you would be able to give them enough information to go on, and they would know and be prepared for the next class meeting. You can also look at it as a summary should be good enough for somebody to potentially pass like a pop quiz over the topic. Okay, if they didn't read it but read your summary of it, they should have a really good understanding of what the author wrote about. One of the things that I tell students, the easiest way to start out a summary is to tell the title, the author, and what the point was. Okay, because a lot of students typically start summaries out with, I read. No, it's not about what you read, okay? So go back to the title, author, main idea. So I tell students the easiest way to start out is in the book, essay, article, whatever it is, put the title, by, author's name, and then tell what the author did. Okay? Don't say they talked, because books don't talk. Writing does not talk. Authors describe, illustrate, retell, analyze, examine, things like that. Use your verbs. Okay? So here's an example. In the book, Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance describes his life from poverty to getting an education at Harvard. Something along those lines, okay? Dwindled out there at the end. But in general, that's what you should be writing as your first sentence of a summary. Title, author, and the main point, the overreaching idea of the article, essay, chapter, whatever it is. Okay? If you are summarizing a chapter, one of the best ways to do that, like a chapter of a textbook, one of the best ways to do that is kind of summarize each section in pieces, break it down a little bit. So you would start at one section here that they're talking about this and summarize that part, and then move to the next section would be your next paragraph. If you're summarizing an article or an essay, you'll want to make sure that you get the point that the author was trying to write about. If they're trying to persuade you to purchase an Android phone over an iPhone, then you need to make sure that you say, so-and-so in the article, blah, 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 by so-and-so, is looking for people to purchase Androids instead of iPhones. And here are their reasons why. Okay, so just make sure that you hit the highlights, the key points, the terms. Maybe your article or essay has a statistic in it that is very important to the purpose of the paper, and you can include that because it is a tiny detail, but it is an important detail, especially, like I said, if it backs up what the author's trying to say. Okay, so that's a little bit about summary. So what you would need to do is read your textbook chapter, your article, your essay, whatever it is that you're assigned in your English 101 course, and then summarize it. Okay. Some of you all may have a very short summary. Maybe you guys just had to read a 2-page essay, and your summary is not going to be that long. Some of y'all, maybe you had to read a chapter in a textbook, and your summary might be a little longer. Nobody's summary, however, should be more than 2 pages double-spaced. Okay? And remember, no I, proofread, spell check, all that good stuff. You can either type it up in Word, submit your document straight to Blackboard, or if you handwrite it, make sure it's legible that I can read it, snap a photo, and submit those photos that way, or scan it in if you have a scanner. Okay. As always, if you all have any questions, make sure that you let me know earlier in the week. That way we can get the answers back to you and still get the assignment done on time. Okay. Thanks, guys.